Before we went to news at 7 o'clock, I said to you, if you have ever been part of a group project, in any capacity, at work, maybe you're doing
School.
maybe you're doing like an MBA, maybe you're at school, even
Varsity.
even like planning things that you at home, anything. If you've ever been part of a group project, we need your wisdom, we need your expertise.
Hi guys, so I have a bit of a problem. I'm doing a group assignment, right? Some people don't really pull their weight and then they benefit from our hard work. And now they've introduced a new system where you have to rate people's performances accordingly. And I don't know if I should tell the truth, because if I do, then they would end up failing, you know?
Haibo, did they sign up for a course thinking that they're going to pass for free? Give her 0. 0.
Wow, you just mark someone down immediately.
Yes, I'm going to be honest about what you did.
Look, I've been on both sides of this group project.
I highly doubt that, Frankie. You always take 90% of the group work.
No. At varsity,
Okay.
there was one subject. I redid that subject 3 times. Long story.
Stats.
No, long story. But it involved the group project, which is why we kept failing. Because there was 3 of us in the group project.
Okay.
The first year I did the subject, I was the one who did nothing.
Okay.
We failed.
Okay.
Right? The second year I said, no, I'm going to put my back into this. I did the work. One of the others did nothing.
You failed.
We failed. And then the third year, we decided to do like a third of the work each.
Okay.
So no one's carrying the load. We passed, which is the point
But
of a
that's
group
the point
assignment.
of a group project.
Yes.
Okay,
guys.
but do you think then that you would have been offended if the other 2 members in that first year had given you 0 and you knew they gave you 0 for your work and they passed because the lecturer went, okay, well, we'll take Frankie's mark out of it?
Yes, I'd be upset. But having said that, I know that I did nothing. So
you
I say nothing, guys, like nothing. I didn't even read the assignment. Like, I did nothing.
You're well within your right to be upset, I think. You can definitely be upset that you're getting 0. But at least it doesn't come as a surprise because you knew you did nothing.
Yeah.
No, Mpumi, give them 0.
But I mean, it really depends. If you know someone, if it's at work and you know someone's going to be really affected at work because of this, then maybe speak to them on the side rather and just,
I think what Frankie's saying is quite important. Like if you're in a group thing at work and you're still going to have to work with this person for the next 4, you don't want your work environment to be uncomfortable.
Yeah.
I don't want to work with a person who doesn't pull their weight.
So I'd give them like 50%. I wouldn't say, or 40%, but I wouldn't give them 0.
That's a bunch of softies.
No, it's easier, I think. Look, firstly, I'm reporting you. But it's easier when it's a stranger. You know, when you meet people at the beginning of the year, you're like, I don't know you. I have no emotional attachment. Where it gets tricky is when it's people you're fond of and you're like, I actually like you, but look, you're like not pulling your weight.
I can compartmentalize my love for you. I can love you 1 minute and still give you 0 for doing nothing.
Oh, that's me. I'm known to fight and love equally.
But at school, you can't. I mean, you can't give a friend 0 because they didn't participate.
The fact that you're my friend means you saw me go to the library. You saw me do the research. You saw me go to Postnet to bind. You saw all of this and still nothing in you said, you know what? Let me pick my weight up here a bit. No, you're getting 0.
Give them 0.
In the workplace or like let's say varsity, are you approaching the person and telling them you're giving them 0 beforehand or are you just letting surprise?
No, I'm going to tell you, it's like, there was 0 in.
I like a surprise.
Every time I see, I'm going to go 0, 0,
No,
0, 0.
There's so much conflict. No.
Because you know what it is. Then you can give me the opportunity. I'm giving you the opportunity to be like, you know what? I'm going through a tough time. This is going on. Nah. Make some sort of excuse up to sit and fold your arms and think that you are going to get a free ride.
Yeah, but I mean, people go through a lot of things.
No, Frankie, do what we used to do. You know how we all have different strengths? So everyone in the process would take on a task that they know they're good at. Are you a good researcher? Okay, then you present the research. If Cindy's a better writer, then she does that. If you're not good at anything, you don't deserve a mark.
011-838-947. Send us a voice note, 084-0000-947. Have a listen to Mpumi's voice note again, and then let us know what you would do.
Hi guys, so I have a bit of a problem. I'm doing a group assignment, right? Some people don't really pull their weight and then they benefit from our hard work. And now they've introduced a new system where you have to rate people's performances accordingly. And I don't know if I should tell the truth, because if I do, then they would end up failing, you know?
I would implore all of you to take a page out of Michael Jordan's book. Michael Jordan, the basketball player. There was one final that he got his team to. Literally, he got his team there.
He carries that team.
He carried that team. I think it was the Chicago Bulls. Then at the end, Scottie Pippen was like, "Oh my word, yeah, we won." Michael Jordan said, "Hey, I won. You are here for the ride."
No, shame.
Telling you now.
No.
Johannesburg, weigh in on this one. 011-8838-947. What do you think Bumi should do?
I had a member like that years back when I was doing my MBA. We reported him and he was excluded. So he didn't graduate. It's a lot of work. So you can't ride on other people. That's it.
Bumi should give the person 0. You know you're supposed to be doing the work. That's why you are part of whatever it is that you're doing.
I've been part of several group projects, and in most cases I had to bear the weight of the whole group. Girl, rate that person down.
She must just tell them out. Mabashi.
Oh, no, wait, put the fire down. Wait. But did you hear what Mbumi said? They've introduced a system where you can rate your group members.
Yeah.
Ask yourself, why did they introduce that system?
No, but the thing is, you can't. I mean, look, if someone's done nothing, because how do you rate someone?
Not even write the date, Baba.
Yeah, but if they've been part of the group discussions, you can't give them 0. You got to. I mean, there's been a discussion
An attendance
about the project.
award.
Yes, at least then you give.
So 20 for attendance, 20 out of
I
100.
just feel like giving someone 0 is heck. If you've never even seen that person, fine. But
Let's see what Arlene from Parktown has to say. Arlene, good morning. Welcome to Anele and The Club.
Hey, good morning. How are you guys? It's my first time on the radio.
Give that girl a That means welcome to the radio.
Thank you.
Okay, Arlene, something got you out of the woodwork around this discussion. Tell us what is it?
So, I'm a teacher, right? And no, guys, if you didn't pull your weight, you cannot expect to be gaining from somebody else's work. It's like going to the bank when you haven't deposited anything and expecting to withdraw something. Doesn't work like that.
But Arlene, isn't it all relative? Because I mean, in any project, one person is going to do more work. It's bound to happen.
Yes, and this is why we're going to rate you accordingly.
For sure, but if you haven't done anything, then are you expecting to get something out of it? You can't expect anything out of it because you haven't done anything. You didn't even offer to do the binding or to do the printing. No, guys, it's 0.
But I mean, look,
0.
That person in the long run is going to reap the rewards, right? So
Which person?
The person that's doing nothing.
Yeah.
I mean, in the long run, you weren't part of the project, so you're not going to pass the exam.
No,
Or
let's
you're not
make it
going
a short run.
But also, I'm teaching you a lesson so you can build on this moment so you know better for the next group.
Who are you to teach
Of
me lessons?
course, yes.
Well, clearly you ain't
I
learned
agree.
nothing.
Who are you?
The
We
school
can't
principal.
be riding on other people's backs. No, life is not that simple.
I'm weirded out that Frankie thinks that, like...
No, I just think that you can't give someone 0. Like, I think you've got to get you.
Like
I
them
get it.
1 out of 10
Yeah, well, 3.
for like being on the WhatsApp group.
Yes, or for adding something. They haven't added nothing.
Okay, it would appear that we found the one person in the city that agrees with Frankie.
Thank
Oh,
you.
I'm ready to fight.
Who is it?
Natasha.
Sure.
Good morning, Anele and The Club.
Morning, Natasha, my favorite person in the city.
I completely agree with Frankie, and I disagree with the previous caller. Firstly, the whole point of a group project, right, is that you're bringing in different characters, and often in school there may be a leader within that group. There may be people that follow. Perhaps you're a good researcher and not necessarily good at bringing things forward. I've been on both sides of this, by the way, but especially now that I'm a people leader in corporate, I do see the subjectiveness of people's views in a group project. Sometimes you've got people that are typically have got leadership characters,
Yeah.
and those people tend to drag the other people, according to what they believe is best, and then they tend to, without actually being asked, they volunteer to do most of the work. And however, from where they're sitting, they might view it as no one else wants to do it. But actually, it's your character that's then enabling others to just say, okay, she wants to do everything, let her do it.
Exactly.
But actually,
So,
part
Natasha,
of being a team player is you rallying people together and saying, hey, Anele, I think you are actually good at this.
yeah, exactly. I mean, Natasha, some might say.
No, Natasha's doing all the work
sorry,
here. Let her finish.
Natasha, some might say that you not including me or pulling me in is a failure on your part.
Sorry,
Exactly.
Natasha
And then
Frankie.
actually having other people rate each other, you're leaving the subjectiveness. Perhaps my view was that Anele brought nothing, but actually all of the research the group leader used was from Anele without Anele being vocal about it.
Natasha, that's
So,
not the thing.
Look, I'm not saying
This
one
person
size
did
fits
nothing.
all, Anele.
Natasha.
Look, I'm not saying one size fits all, but then there's a lot of subjectiveness in group projects, and I think it is dangerous to start saying people,
Natasha.
should rate zeros. Yes?
Less analysis, more usefulness. People must work.
Well, but that's what a group project is. You're bringing in all these characters. You're supposed to be gaining from everyone's usefulness. But then there you go, Thembekile, because you are the leader, the bully. You then want to do everything and then say,
is that where we are, loafer?
Guys, Natasha wants us to give people marks for bringing vibes. Huh?
How did she get her promotion there where she's a leader? Let's review.
Yeah, Natasha just wants us to award people like, oh, you know what, they did nothing, but they were so funny. Oh, they brought all the jokes.
I think Natasha's talking a lot of sense.
No, I hear parts of what Natasha's saying, but what the beauty of this is we can rate each other. I'm going to give you 0, and you are also allowed to give me 0. And then
the teacher will decide.
And then when the teacher says, who did this? Thembekile. Who did this? Thembekile. Who did this? Thembekile. Who did this? Thembekile. Frankie? I brought the vibes. Party. That's what I brought.
Why? Guys, why you want mugs? Give them 0 and surprise them. Because Tada, you didn't work. What did you think the reward for not working was?
Listen, on behalf of everybody, I think I can say that it is the world where people now need to be accountable for their actions.
I had the exact same problem when I was younger, and if we had that system, I would have definitely put that person as a 0.
I say she sings like a canary and she writes the performance review of a lifetime. There is nothing noble about letting someone ride off of your hard work and your achievements.
It's not just the school assignments, it's the trustees as well in the body corporate. I wish I could give them 0.
Oh, wow. Extending the rating system.
We sent you off to do the job and you have not done the job. Do you know what we are not looking at here? And I hear what Natasha was saying about like some people's personalities, they're a lot more bullish than they end up doing all the work, all of that. Group assignments are there to teach you about building boundaries around you. Because what's going to happen now is you're going to end up being a bitter person, resentful by yourself because no one else knows what they did to you.
Right.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Then you are the one who's sour, the acid, the toxicity stays with you. You're upset. Yeah, okay, fine, I'll give it to them. But, this is rubbish. And then that's all you are. Then you are this miserable person to your family and you always complaining about, Frankie, this person is not pulling their weight. Stand up for yourself and let that person know with a 0 that they didn't do the work so that the rest of your life can be happy as well.
Yeah, I think that you could step back, to be honest, and in the moment, when the person's not doing their work, address it then.
That's what it's teaching you as well, to speak up.
That's what you should be doing because it's like you should be very clear about it. Hey, bro, you're not pulling your weight. This is what I need you to do. And if they don't, then fine, 0.
Charles, you say give them 0.
Hey?
Yes, 100%. Give them 0.
What are you basing this stance on?
So, Anele, hi guys.
Hi.
Good morning.
Hi, Charles.
So back in the day in varsity, I was second year. We had this group project, and then the lecturer obviously put us into groups. firstly, I had my doubts about the group, but anyway, we went ahead with the groups. For the whole while, we had like 3 months to do this position paper that we had to submit. And my group just never pulled their weight. Got them together, guys, we need to work, we need to do something. The group just decided no, like, because at the time, I was doing fairly well in the subject. It was industrial psychology or something like that. And they just figured, well, if you do the subject, if you do the assignment, we'll all get good marks. I ended up doing the assignment, completed it, and then on the day of submission, I handed in a blank assignment because I didn't want to get an incomplete and have to redo the subject because I knew my other marks would carry me through. So I take the 0 as long as I didn't get an incomplete. Handed in a blank assignment with all of our names on. They all threw up a big fuss in the lecture hall. Afterwards, the lecturer and the dean called us in, wanted to have a discussion. I said, no, there's no way I'm going to submit an assignment and when everyone didn't do their weight. I wish back then we actually had a chance to rate whoever did what and they would get 0 and I would still pass the thing. And that's why I say to do work for other people is just, it's unfair because they just piggybacking off you. And I don't think it was fair. And that's what I did on the day.
And you know what? I think that lecturers have gotten wind of that, and this is why there's now all of a sudden a rating system. Where and you have to be honest, you know. And the best part is to let the person who did nothing rate themselves first, and you can just have like, chap, according to you, what do you think we should rate you because you didn't do anything?
Yes.
And outside of getting, you know, good marks for industrial psychology, I just think it's a good teaching moment because you're gonna go into the workplace. Okay? And somebody in the workplace is going to be like that. There's someone who's not going to want to pull their weight. And all of a sudden, you must just continue because we're being nice.
No, definitely.
To what end? What I want to know is to what end? You know, when are you going to start pulling your weight? Kathleen, you're wrapping it up for us. Good morning.
Good morning, guys.
How are you, Kathleen? You see,
I'm good, thanks, and you?
You sound like a person who gets taken advantage of. You do all the work. You sound it because you sound so nice and so sweet and so diligent.
So I'm currently a uni student and we just had a group assignment with the rating system and everything that we had to use.
And?
So the way it actually works, you don't just get 0 or 100%. So your lecturer gives you the opportunity to rate privately. You don't even have to rate in the group. So you can give a person like a mark out of 10. So for example, if they only attended group discussions and stuff, but did nothing else towards the project, you can give them like 3 or 4 out of 10 and then they will get 40% of the mark. So they won't just get 0. They might still fail the assignment, but they'll still get a mark that may assist them to pass the module overall.
And Kathleen, do you motivate that? So can you say, I'm giving them 3 and this is the reason?
You can, if there's a specific reason, and from our lecturer's point of view, he said if there's a massive variation, like if one person gives them a 3 but everyone else gives them a 10, then he's going to approach you to kind of clarify what's going on to make sure it's not like a personal vendetta or that they actually just didn't do anything.
Because that's the other thing, you end up in groups and then you just don't like that person. They're working, but you just don't like them.
Sometimes, exactly, people just they just clash in groups. So like, especially if you don't get to choose your group members, that's a bit of a problem sometimes.
Which once again is also a teaching moment because in life, your colleagues are not always going to be people that you picked. You literally have to play the hand that you've been dealt. So I like this. What uni are you at, Kathleen?
University of Pretoria.
Oh, okay. The best one.
And what are you studying?
BSc Human Genetics and Human Physiology.
Yeah, I would definitely let you do all the work there. All of it.
Anele and the Club on 947.